Prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks and brings his own demise. I rise quick above my circumstance and overlook the pain. Survey my situation and maximize the gain. Frame it with the lens that shifts my paradigm. Vibing with the pen in my hand to hold my mind. Demanding at its stress, then leads to sweat. Sweat turns into blood. The blood will redirect, defy time. The sections of this life, the sacrifice of giving no matter what the price. Here am I, please purify me. Make me a model for living life, giving free. Here am I, please purify me. Through trials of life, I overcome my enemies. Keep that fire burning that's been shut up in my bones. They catch me's only righteous even when they throwing stones. Been a lone star target, parked down in this pit. Often getting hit hard just for walking home guard. No more will I try to minimize my memories as a middleman in the mush pot. I will live in the outland, odd man, the limitless. I'm more to victorious and overcome odds. Here am I, please purify me. Through trials of life, I overcome my enemies. Here am I, please purify me. Through trials of life, I stay focused on the prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks, brings his own demise. Stay focused on the prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks, he brings his own demise. I live in the palm of God, staying calm, quoting psalms evermore, giving alms to the poor. I'm looking for another door to open instead of focusing on the closed one. Day at a time, I use my body as a shrine. I let God define my whole life on a whole. And when my soul is in strife, I let it go to the most high. Cause I highly anticipate an adverse situation so I can dominate in its total form and definition. I was born on a mission to listen to your heartbeat. Unique words disperse an SOS. In distress you murmur, then murder the voice of God and further away. You plummet in disarray. Dismayed and swayed by the rhythm of the chaotic drum of pure pleasure. Hypnotic, isn't it? Snap out of it, you illiterate hypocrite, and ponder on the infinite literature that penetrates the inner spirit to cure the blur that blends the sins of this world together, mends and swirls morality into a mixture of ambiguous paradigms and fallacies, plague minds, vacants of truth. His words become billboards, wisdom a sharp sword, two edges cutting to the core of my perspective. On my quest to be perfected in the fire of true design, refined and elected. Stay focused on the prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks, he brings his own demise. Stay focused on the prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks, he brings his own demise.
You got the trial of fire, I'm feeling the flames. Vicariously suffer when you feeling the pain. Succumbing to one who's running the whole show. Purity obtained through struggle is the whole goal. Steadfast and slow roll when under Christ's control. Wonder if the rain will cease before the thunder claps again. What's happening is patience is having a perfect place in my life, causing me to examine myself before I test the mic. It's like sight of what might be without seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Vision is the lifeboat of hope when the scope's out of focus. Regain to maintain and stay sane. One refrain remains in my brain. What kills me not makes me stronger, so I hold on despite what circumstance screams in my face. My stance will stay fixated no matter what wind dictates. Be it defeat or retreat, I'll heed not, but give ear to the spirit within that causes me to win. Now with each passing moment of torment, I remember I'm being made a member of the remnant. After disaster, my story unfolds. I'm purged under pressure to emerge as pure gold. Thus I must
stay focused on the prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks, he brings his own demise. Stay focused on the prize with your eyes glued to the future's on the rise. Wise birds manifest in life. The enemy attacks, he brings his own demise. Stay focused. Life magnified. unified. Atoms lie in my anatomy, inside of me atoms are rather what makes me matter. Atoms exist making up matter, they consist of many scattered electrons. Gather electricity in their own orbit, with protons complementing electrons with positivity. Neutrons are neutral and suitable, thus working as one around the nucleus. It's a must being beautiful when we trust the nucleus. As a descendant of atom, I can't fathom the millions of atoms that form this present atom, giving brain spasms to the dormant ignorant atoms who always be lagging behind. They cannot follow the pattern in the rhyme. Atoms are not a product of the Big Bang, no debating that false like carbon dating a bunch of yin yang. With loopholes the size of Maine, tame your pride and open your eyes wide. No living organism has ever automatically assembled itself. No living organism has ever automatically assembled itself. Protons, electrons, and neutrons are building blocks of life. Atoms, invisible, you're visible with the correct scope. Life, look past the cloaking device. The cloaking device. Protons, electrons, and neutrons are building blocks of life. Atoms, invisible, you're visible with the correct scope. Life, look past the cloaking device. The cloaking device.
Atomic particles and particular articles of speech from the heart of our matter and life are standing on the basic building block and wielding thoughts manifested in the earth realm by the almighty. Finite minds cannot penetrate the infinite one. Omnipotent sunshine, radiant rays illuminate the rhyme. So catch this allegorical concept within the mitten of your mind. I'll call a molecule a sentence, an atom a word, a quirk a letter. Into the endless minutia, the line at the bottom is the second atom created the cosmos, though most don't know. The intricacies of physics are greater evidences of the existence of the grand designer of the universe. The building blocks of life, atoms, invisible yet visible with the correct scope. Life, look past the cloaking device. The cloaking device. Protons, electrons, and neutrons, the building blocks of life. Atoms, invisible yet visible with the correct scope. Life, look past the cloaking device. The cloaking device.
It's like fire shut up in my rupture from the inner words. Send a sound, enter the red earth inventor. Remember the members of physical structure. Puncture the atom in destruction erupts to thunder. Lightning striking, molecules fighting enemies. Electricity igniting all the fuel in me. In any minute, divinity defines any entity's definitive infinity mind. Eternally turning in words turned in terms of verbal thought. Caught my motion, thermodynamics, emit burning semantics, and it's just begun in one rhyme. Sunshine, the power to purify, meet a purity. Earthly endeavors are severed at the nerve. You're free from feeling infirmity and burning to the third degree. Hurry up and murder me. I become stronger than you'll ever be. Me and three atoms in the fire in unity. Higher than the universe, the early three. Manifested in the Trinity, resides in me the nucleus of energy. Atoms, protons, electrons, and neutrons, the building blocks of life. Atoms, invisible yet visible with the correct scope. Life is past the cloaking device. The cloaking device. Protons, electrons, and neutrons, the building blocks of life. Atoms, invisible yet visible with the correct scope. Life is past the cloaking device. The cloaking device. Check this out.
Future shock,
Frustration. Frustrated.
just can't take it.
Yeah.
Come on.
We are frustrated,
Tired of the pressure
and the measures that are taken.
We
are complicated,
wonderfully
made by the price that was paid.
Come on.
We are frustrated, ready to explode, yet we hold on to patience. We are complicated, synchronizing cadence that assures us we will make it.
I'm odd man, poetic on the verge of a meltdown crisis. Suffice it to say, frustrated is an understatement. Underestimating the pressurized force, pushing my pen, coursing through ink through doors of my development. Tangible intelligence fell in silence while I resurrected tons of flesh partial to violence. Simultaneously, I was straining to see why I could never be free of restraints, keeping me sane. I paint a face full of bruises on a loser in office. I've set his equilibrium, building helium pockets under both eyes, cause I've uncovered the lies lying under the surface. The source of orbital schisms, fractures, divisions, and breaks, taking a toll on my patience. Man, these frustrations keep clogging up my cadence, but making progress is unnecessary, and very obviously I must address the issue of constant conflict and keep writing my appeals as a frustrated convict.
We are frustrated,
tired of the pressure
and the measures that are taken. We are complicated,
wonderfully made by the price that was paid.
We are frustrated, ready to explode,
Yet we hold on to patience.
We are complicated,
Synchronizing cadence that assures us we will make it.
frustration, I'm racing on a overload. Drip after drip, the sorry roads on my soul. I'm tired of sick and suffering, struggling to keep my mind tight. It's like I'm a lit dynamite, running from the fuse. I think I'm gonna lose the fight. It's like I'm in a straitjacket, trying to let the hand to them, the men sinking in the sand. In a maze of rage, my fist shake with questions like, why is this world so full of hate? I need an escape, and I'm not down with being fake. While innocence being raped, mouths are being taped to quiet and bury the various hurts that create bitterness, which is venomous to the inner core. I'm a soldier, fighting till I die, cry no more. We are frustrated, tired of the pressure and the measures that are taken. We are complicated, wonderfully made by the price that was paid. We are frustrated, ready to explode, yet we hold on to patience. We are complicated, synchronized in cadence that assures us we will make it. Frustrations, just pacing, double time on my nerves. Now my urge to serve more than a whack MC. Slap the pen till it bleeds, ink to feed appetite to express excess steam over misdeeds. I'm a sower of seed, yet some soil isn't where we should be spitting. The ground's already populated and the crop's been harvested, and the art's nowhere near appreciated. Doing shows where those in attendance don't oppose while we send it, or just know not. Still we shock spots and stay in it, despite the fact that we see nothing for it. Can no longer ignore it, yet and still we endure it. Harnessing the pain to release it in song, doing it for the love and keeping no record of wrongs. Marching onward with my fallen arches, so as an artist your heart is my target. So even if I never receive one red cent, I'd still passionately, poetically represent. Work to pay rent, and with that stated rocket fly to occupy till he returns and I'm no longer frustrated. We are frustrated. I rocket fly to occupy till he returns and I'm no longer frustrated. We are frustrated. Frustration. We are frustrated, tired of the pressure and the measures that are taken. We are complicated, wonderfully made by the price that was paid. We are frustrated, ready to explode, yet we hold on to patience. We are complicated, synchronizing cadence that assures us we will make it. We are frustrated. We are frustrated. Yeah. Frustrated.
Here it comes. Come on. Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock. I'm a phenom, spawned from salt and light compounds, holding false mic checks over ground, claiming under origin, paying my stakes in paper tectonic plates, see my beat, thoughts and lakes of ink, on the brink of my extinction, dictionaries of wisdom, hand in hand with sand printed semantics, overtly I'm poetic on the poverty perimeter, no ignorant edit for those immature listeners, just adventure for sure, prudential guides never rise above the surface for the purpose of a sacrifice, supplemental overload, your currents explode, neurons in the unseen realms, arousing senses all sick, mixed with suspicions of existence, supernatural, unexplained, detached, relevant and beyond, future shock and tunnel rats continue on in the true spirit of the reborn phenomenon. It's like Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. It's like Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock. Well, the phenomenon that I'm rapping about tells about the bond that God has for man upon this land that we live upon. Journey in the past. Subtract 20 centuries, find your destiny to be a follower of Jehovah, no longer a hollow head wallowing in dead matter. You know what matters, man. When you become aware that you're an heir to a promise, but you better beware of the snares and traps that will capture your soul. Hold on tight on the roller coaster of life by remembering the phenomenon upon the cross. Be strong as the night of light, or short loss. Eternal existence, gone in the inferno, blown away in the winds of strife. Don't let this happen. Look to the one who sends pure life that never ends. Yo, remember the phenomenon. Come on, Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock with we. It's like Phenomenon 1, Phenomenon 2, Phenomenon 3, come rock. Transient, transform, Decepticons are Autobot. Interchange, rearrange, and strange the brain frame, somewhat similar to transplant, yet man can't comprehend it. Then perception when detection of second. Birth is in order, spirit then water, to see then into the kingdom for this non-physical phenom. It takes place in the inner man when the man seeks origin point and then finds it. Remarkable how his heart sparkable, ignited by the true light to shine to mankind, bearing witness to the unseen, even ill to the keen minds of science. Therefore, applying to my reliance upon the I am is indelible. A second birth, a second coming. Now that's incredible. Quite able to be told. The yell to you is the non-fiction of the eviction of the old man, phenomenon to all lands.
Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves sworn, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned. Now as I climb the time tower, hours and minutes and seconds help the relevance. Within my residence, my benevolent heart was an outcast to the sour masses following egoism for power. I decided to climb this time mechanism in order to find the keeper of time and space. My spirit's feet reached the 12th number. I arrived in a place of no blunder. I was under this wondrous glory that thundered through my being. Then I froze when the timekeeper's voice rumbled with authority. Time is running out for humanity. Insanity runs rampant along with vanity. Go out into the world and show them my character, for this is their last chance to grasp eternity. Those words burned to me like a roaring inferno, and that's when I realized I was the eternal warrior holding up a timepiece that read it's time for peace. Time to seek the timekeeper.
Now, time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Enter into this interim. Remember the sun hung? If not, recollect the rock to an epoch. Seasonal schism, his hands control the spans of a clock. And the sands of an hourglass, moving fast, increasing momentum toward the moment of truth. A monumental instance wherein distance from the day star is not as far as a heart's cry. Outside inhabitants dwell inside of a swell spell until an opportunity knocks you off your block, thus leaving you with shocked eyes to be clockwise. See, once you flee from the physical field and the finite factor, you'll find that there's no turning back to scraps left of time to get it right. Up your mind you must make, cause once your life elapses, it's either Christ or the lake.
Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned, seek the timekeeper. Time waits for no one, time waits for none. Consider yourselves warned. The sun passes, marking intervals of darkness, undaunted by the harness of change, a strange catharsis. Lifts the tosses, curse a martyr first and foremost, but coastal waters thirst for fresh water. Also follow the photo finish in its minutes and its second fraction. The action frantic and ironic, demonic forces on it. I flaunt the gift of speed in my need to vent pent up anger. The anchor leg of this here relay, no chance for slow-mo replay. The stopwatch plays the last dance. Party people keep restrictions loose and vision sees no deadline, but headline read and time approaching. The timekeeper's index finger keeps coaching my stride right. I find flight in endless pin sprints. The emblem of tenacity, Ecclesiastes shells. My interest volumes, empty catacombs consume my time wounds. My time wounds. fighting on the warpath. Dodging grenades as three renegades of wrath on the forefront. We chant, doom will fall upon your crew. As the sky turns red with blood you'll lose. Are you wondering why all this chaos is spreading? Or why the explosions are painting your setting? That's where I war as a warrior, torn flesh and all. The oddball won't fall to rest until the war is won by us. Protect, yes, a primitive on my chest. As I tear through enemy barricades and landmines detonate. But I'm 100% concentrated on the greatest power that devours armies of hate. But you can't alarm me with mere intimidation and fear, mate. I'll blow up your bunker with God's thunder. You wonder why your fate is forever erased. Never debate the awesome strength of God's son. Surrendered so the length of your life will expand. Ageless, you got to find the eternal pages.
The current establishment causes me to emit a bitter cry. Consider I a wailing banshee, strumming vocal cords in harmony with Father Time's chimes. Wind chasers find they'll face a fate far worse than the state bordered by hate, ordered by the rapist of the world's inhabitants. I ain't having it, so I'm grabbing a spot on the front line to confront minds hell-bent on carrying out our enemies' intense contents of the next planetary organization. Bursts forth of frustration due to the non-hearing ears of my peers. Thus, a warning is born in me, informing the masses through verbalization of what's to take place in the future. So now, it's a labor in which I long to lick shots and hit plots of land where man stands in disarray. I'm humming hymns and shall pray for they until doomsday, for it's coming.
Black react die, to die your due situations consume the act. A nation's fate at hand and I command the speech of warning. I speak of mourning, contorting, writhing, drying of your hopes aborting. The path of future's forming fast. I walk the gap, widens, ions elapse. Overlaps of time warp the mind's eye and vie for space to occupy. I drop and cry, I scan the open sky, and I, as my redemption draws nigh, fly, now my wheel winds skyward. My words are heard from mountaintops to valleys. On top of Cali, I see beamers and hoorides collide. Tectonic plates split streets and alleys. The finale, finally the finale. While you sat by idly and watch while we walk mightily. Vitality, the blood of life shelters our mortality. And now we be in deity, the epitome of power. Awake. For the crack of doom approaches. For the crack of doom approaches. For the crack of doom approaches. We are approaching the final day. The coming of the Messiah. Doom, I say, not soothing to the savage. The average vanished to the depths of hate for doing damage. Pursuing famine with vigor, while I invigorating. I figure waiting on earth is worth the birth invigorating. I've been integrating a warning within this verse. A verse of warning to consume your fear of impending doom entering here. The tomb here is now. It's not too much to touch here. It's not too soon to touch here. The final chapter must be coming to an end. We've been running with the wind to reach the door of time here. Pretend will end. Reality strikes, frightening shock. Lightning short circuit your worthless time clock. Time clock here.
invisible splinter from the wood in the shape of a loss for a gain, a cross for a rain hood. Cup his head filled with answers of anvil. Wait while the world of questions is at a standstill. Pockets filled with lint, not one red cent for the misfit transient and severed existence in resemblance to the only absolute known as Christ. I bear my cross in hopes to lead a broken life. Doing exhibitions with the electric commissions for the future tense past due. Payment is driven down a street that's narrow, one way, with the light at the corner odd way, while the cross street is Broadway. Travel by the mini for the penny, but coins can't procure a way out of the dead end road. See that signal? It's red for stopping. Ponds of the lambs, bloodshed engraved inside the head. Thus, my desire is to light a fire in the night, to be chosen as a shining token of the broken light. Come on.
Now as the tides turn,
We carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn,
We carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn.
We carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
My eyes are open, staring at the ceiling, should be sleeping, but my mind wanders and ponders about my life that's broken. Fall the ground, penetrated by the greatest being demonstrated by his death, which gave me life, sight, and lightened by the essence of right. So I'm gonna dwell in his presence with a peaceful sleep tonight. Now as the sun rises to another day of shoveling my pride deep into the bottomless pit of hate, innovation and creation always consume my thought, even though I know that all I have is already been bought for the price without manipulation. The spirit leads as a patient to the Most High. On the cross, just fill the holy red cells to penetrate myself without the wealth. You know that I don't need it. I stand as a broken man alone on the crest of all. Originality succumbing to no one but Emmanuel, and he will hand you all the manual of life. So I persevere with no fear in the eye of the storm. Now as the tides turn,
We carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn,
We carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn.
We carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
Disposition, slave, style obscure, aberrant. Errant when perceived, my persecution is inherent. Heron disarray, appearance slipshod. Hip hop, derelicts, entourage on the dodge. Heretics manifest the gift of mirage to sabotage on a tangent. Oddball, poet, drama, transient. Transmit the misfit image envelope. Push on the scope of broken life. Peace do cease, never lost in the outland. Foundation, hard times, bad luck, stuck in quicksand. Rising, dying, eyeing poverty, peculiar motivation. Sense monetary loss with no thought of recompense. Chalk out lines, surround my pockets, proceed cautious and courageous. Symptoms of the broken are contagious. Age is no factor, benefactors of disasters. What we have to be, the afterlife, forever in our destiny. Forever in our destiny. Forever in our destiny. As the tides turn,
We carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn,
We carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn,
We carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life.
as the tides turn.
We carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm.
Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works. Under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear. Whispers of sanity, echo execution. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works. Under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear. Whispers of sanity, echo execution. Thunderous plunderage of blundering MCs who mumble a battle. So then I tackle the shackled mind
To rattle spines and vex vertebrae.
Plus disaligned line play constitution.
True execution, revolution undergone, amends an interstate.
state, and then a mental state. As a matter of truth, when I state these lines are connected to the chair that you sit in.
Fit in.
Not I, therefore I pour electric waves to char and leave skin scars.
Stuck hard to the wood planks and barred cell.
Thanks, no hell, just a bad situation for flesh to be facing.
Sin, sinful nature, made for death intrusion.
Brought into being a perfected execution. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution.
Strolling down the hallway with the priest on my side, excited and indicted and sentenced to die by the Most High. Named El Shaddai, who provides electricity. They hit me in my chest, executed, put to rest.
Yes, my heart screams with dreams of eager enlightenment. Sin through volts of bolts in a throne mold that fill my soul, ignited by bold wording in our book, submerging in my spirit on course to bring learning from the source, forcefully residing on my inside. My guide's giving me an itch, now waiting for the slow throw of the switch. Power source brings currents coursing through my veins, pains excruciating, no longer waiting for death.
Electricity flips me upside down on solid ground, abolishing sounds of torture, which scorch my inner being, which is sing. Visions of the unseen who label me blame. I scream out your name in agonizing pain.
Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution. Now, here are my last words to be heard on the planet Earth. Final ill will and testament and testimony for those who knew and didn't know me. As I exit existence, I wish to remain in your remembrance as one who displayed persistence in being an obedient human being to Jehovah. You know the omniscient, all-seeing. If you don't, guess you won't, as I know not evermore, cause death isn't the end, see, death is but a door. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution.
The blade rises to the crest of the guillotine to murder your false doctrines that be dropping like flies. You see a mean hip hopper that is fresh in your mind. Your life flashes and you realize mass inside out your wisdom which will lies. You philosophized in classes of emptiness, defied your perception that dove into a pool of deception which splashed death maximized. Eyes looked up as I let go of the rope. You thought you were dope, but in the end you realized you couldn't cope. Your whole style's based on hope.
Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't hear in your ear, whispers of sanity, echo execution. Individuals dividing asunder, verbalizing wondrous works under us lurks nothing. Underground, something you don't
But if I got one breath left, more complex with one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex with one rhyme to the next.
Before
But
I
if I
dive,
got
I check
one breath
my
left,
nautical status, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, quick rest, relieving steps of death lattice, status, satisfaction, aquatic perception, melodic detection, actively sanitizing my eyes, I bring infection to focus. Diagnosis, locusts and fleas, bring disease of psychosis through osmosis, these breeze through trees of hocus pocus, leaves fall. We saw contaminated seas of animated pleas, seeking in fathoms, atoms, distress for the mistress of mistrusted mystery, officially fishing for phantoms of history deep. Listen to me, keep inhaling oxygenated cells of life beneath the surface where purpose is life. I'm fighting to stay afloat, a ray of hope shines through my mind. Truth finds structure, rhymes up, spines, a spineless design, aligning timeless wonders with thundering signs. I'm surrounded by astounding walls of water, no bother of drowning. My father is sounding the call underwater, leaving Atlantis at night with gladness in sight. My breathing apparatus, my mic.
but if I got one breath left, more complex with one rhyme to the next. got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left,
Sub-Oceana to the floor underground. You'll need more than a snorkel as you dive into my sound. Immersed in verses, tertial linguistic forms which want you into an abundance of saturation. As you inch deeper, your dreams, a sleeper is wrenched from either closure. Composure's lost due to overexposure to salt. Pressurize, rise to erase the lies from the father of them. The reason for the scuba jive, dive to the depths of the subconscious, drown in nonsense, sending the opposite on sight. Pressurize, it increases as you descend. The lungs can't stand, so they collapse for the raps. Causes a snap of your trachea, breath lost yet death eludes. Food for thought, what was wrought on the cross equals deep. Boy, you drown as the life preserver brings you back around to the surface. Waves crashing, go and you're gasping. You hit the shore, my words sink your voice, so you forever hear. The scuba jive dive lift you wet behind the ears.
more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left,
Exploding to the surface with my words, I grab you by the neck and drag you through my world. The mic checks and surging and submerging downwards with the words of sound. Intellectual tentacles sting your third eye. I represent the king, him, the wind beneath my wing. Then I send a sting that rings in your mind like a smoke detector. A sand crystal in a clam through time. You survived the broke out like a missile as a pearl. God renewed your mind, 3 eyes open to the notion of life 2 times born. You've been transformed from the land to a brand new creature that will reach for the bright light that shines above your sight, which dives into the realm of oxygen. You swim upwards, embarking on a whole new journey. Lungs expand like a rubber band with air to declare your manhood of good. Yes, you've been baptized by God's scuba jive.
more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left, more complex from one rhyme to the next. But if I got one breath left.
Hey yo,
All we need
is a break beat.
and a sample. Let's check this out. Yes. Yo, we just need a beat, we just need a beat, we just need a break beat and a sample to show the world that we are prime examples of fresh hip hop manifested in misfits. Intricate minds designed for dope beats and bass lines that we ride upon from dawn to dusk. So put the needle on the wax, cause we're ready to bust. Yo, I used to get clowned for making pause loop tapes. Now the application to breaks is making clowns papes. Once seen as done by the dunce inside the biz is now done by those who know not what hip hop is. A hybrid of sounds, eclectic collage, break beats and samples of phonographic montage. Mastered by the casters of the rods into the crates, fishing for the plate that when it rotates, it creates the feeling of elation. Eureka foundation of the groove is now stationed at the lab to be tested. To have the jam manifested, stab the thin diamond into the vinyl's indented skin. Now, after this incision, the decision is made. Yo, the sample to be looped and the break to be played. So no matter how progressive the music in our culture gets, it's those break beats and samples that make the hits. We just need a beat, we just need a beat, we just need a break beat and a sample to show the world that we are prime examples of fresh hip hop manifested in misfits. Intricate minds designed for dope beats and bass lines that we ride upon from dawn to dusk. So put the needle on the wax, cause we're ready to bust.
I was born in a B-boy pose, transforming, cutting, and scratching while eliminating foes as a technician at gripping those who oppose my ability to sky rhyme with versatility and agility to kill MCs when I ignite. On the mic, the sparks are gonna fly tonight when I recite in written paragraphs that stab and smite enemies that tend to be sorry copies of Versace models. It boggles my mind with no delights. I juggle 3 mics on my plight to plunder the underground in a never-ending fight. It's hot about to be exact. I'm liable to drown the competition in the contradiction, then inflict pain with clout granted by Elohim. No doubt, I prevail while shouts of anguish el fronters over the dialect. I manipulate over breaks. I'm the hunter.
We just need a beat, we just need a beat, we just need a break beat and a sample to show the world that we are prime examples
Intricate minds designed for dope beats and bass lines that we ride upon from dawn till dusk. So put the needle on the wax, cause we're ready to bust.
We'll take heed. This is the rebirth of the breakbeat, the first seed. To burst the surface to seek spotlights and hot mics, sparked by the art of innovation and word flight. I'm the third night to rise a mile above and beyond. The call of duty you're born with bits of wax that ask to be put on. A soul roller coaster, close your eyes and hope for the most. You're not supposed to boast in coastal rhymes with one-liners and jokes. I poke fun at the mainstream and set trends to bend your weak perception with keen insight. Invite a track back to my lab for a nightcap and write rhymes too hard for unwise incisors to bite back, but you backbite, you won't fight back. You're too confused to act right and handle space flight with this vandal who likes to stomp and trample minds over breakbeats and samples.
We just need a beat, we just need a beat, we just need a breakbeat and a sample to show the world that we are prime examples of fresh hip-hop manifested in misfits. Intricate minds designed for dope beats and bass lines that we ride upon from dawn till dusk. So put the needle on the wax, cause we're ready to bust. So put the needle on the wax, cause we're ready to bust. So put the needle on the wax, cause we're ready to bust.
Of the storm, broken life. Tossed. Enter. Invisible splinter from the wood in the shape of a loss for a gain across for a rain hood. Cup his head filled with answers of anvil. Wait while the world of questions is at a standstill. Pockets filled with lint, not one red cent for the misfit transient and severed existence in resemblance to the only absolute known as Christ. I bear my cross in hopes to lead a broken life. Doing exhibitions with the electric commissions for the future tense past due. Payment is driven down a street that's narrow, one way, with the light at the corner odd way, while the cross street is Broadway. Travel by the mini for the penny, but coins can't procure a way out of the dead end road. See that signal? It's red for stop and ponder the lambs. Bloodshed engraved inside the head. Thus, my desire is to light a fire in the night, to be chosen as a shining token of the broken light. Come on. Now as the tides turn, we carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry a cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. My eyes are open, staring at the ceiling, should be sleeping, but my mind wanders and ponders about my life that's broken. Fall the ground, penetrated by the greatest being demonstrated by his death, which gave me life, sight, and lightened by the essence of right. So I'm gonna dwell in his presence with a peaceful sleep tonight. Now as the sun rises to another day of shoveling my pride deep into the bottomless pit of hate. Innovation and creation always consume my thoughts, even though I know that all I have is already bought. For the price without manipulation, the spirit as a patient to the Most High. On the cross to spill the holy red cells to penetrate myself without the wealth. You know that I don't need it. I stand as a broken man alone on the crest of all. Originality succumbing to no one but Emmanuel, and he will hand you all the manual of life. So I persevere with no fear in the eye of the storm. Now as the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. Disposition, slave, style obscure, aberrant. Errant when perceived, my persecution is inherent. Heron disarray, appearance slip shod. Hip hop, derelicts, entourage on the dodge. Heretics manifest the gift of mirage to sabotage on a tangent. Oddball, poet, drama, transient. Transmit the misfit image envelope. Push on the scope of broken life, peace do cease. Never lost in the outland, foundation, hard times, bad luck, stuck in quicksand. Rising, dying, eyeing poverty, peculiar motivation. Sense monetary loss with no thought of recompense. Chalk out lines around my pockets, proceed cautious and courageous. Symptoms of the broken are contagious. Age is no factor, benefactors of disasters. What we have to be the afterlife, forever in our destiny. Forever in our destiny. Forever in our destiny. As the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm, broken life. As the tides turn, we carry our cross, tossed in the eye of the storm.
My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who knows shakes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones.
Untroubled waters, I float in a boat full of holes. Frantic, I panic like a maniac using a bucket to chuck the liquid far away from the essence bizarre. Gifted I be, but circumstance dances in front of me, seducing my weakness, tantalizing my emotions with all sorts of potions. Peep this home box in my bones, Shalom's destiny. The Roman inside my bones, my soul cries for restoration from all these clones that were facing tones, melancholy, moans and groans are found inside my body. Raging seas, tortured pleas, screamed in a tasteless wasteland. Deserted my man, alone I search. Dry cursed, I don't know why. Inside I feel barren, scared and staring fear in the eyes. I'm declaring anguish in language, mangled, tangled in a web of deception, while the spider slowly crawls in my direction. Fear disappears, I pop my lid, forced to take course, full of life source to kill the arachnid.
My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who knows shakes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones. My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who knows shakes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones.
Untroubled waters, I float in a boat full of holes. Frantic, I panic like a maniac using a bucket to chuck the liquid far away from the essence bizarre. Gifted I be, but circumstance dances in front of me, seducing my weakness, tantalizing my emotions with all sorts of potions. Peep this home box. With devotion, I lock into the massive strength of God to establish my origin. This piece is inserted in the slot. Deceased this constant mourning and sadness, in this madness that is in my habitat. The world Ajax swirls in a whirlpool of complaints. For the depths of my stomach I yell, this ain't gonna happen, fool. My joy is secure, pure, little obscure. I'm not gonna let the devil lure me away from the cure, from all the sickness, evicted from my existence, which is firmly living, complex yet simple as a temple I roam.
My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who rolls shakes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones. My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who molds shapes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones.
I submerge myself in contemplation. Patience is needed, I need to find it and capture its purity, to secure my insecurity, then escape from the devil's whispers that twist my ways of thinking. Sinking to the depths of my worst fear, established through tears and facts that will swing me to sing the blues. Reds, emotions that have bled, rivers of pain that soak my clothes, that are worth many, many holes which reside in my insides. Trust has been abandoned, alone I scream, stranded on a lonely island, separated, yet I struggle to juggle my sanity, holding on to the answer God has given. Hope is risen through cancer-stricken landfills that kill life distilled through many filters that build structures on the land of milk and honey. Ruptured heart needs medicine, God supplies the infinite supply of relief pain, healed by love.
My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who molds shapes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones. My insides feel like raging waters. I counterattack with calmness from the potter, who molds shapes, scopes my soul. I need shalom to roam inside my bones.
I've always known I would own death like this. A blanket keeping me warm, covering the form of life physical made visible. Taking lashes of ridicule, I stand as an individual, divided, no longer excited about the prospect of death, yet delighted to serve as an example. Champion of two-sided reason, convicted of treason by the temporal realm, even as my scalp palpitates beneath vibrating blades. Days pass through conscious thoughts of righteousness. Hindsight begs the question of motive, but I've toted that doubt a flesh time, so here's where I leave it. God will deliver the promise, I believe it, in action, now satisfying the curiosity of Christian philosophy. I know now how this will turn. The sponge lunged in my face to paint a placement of my metal crown. Frowning faces glare in distaste of my confidence found in grace. The taste of victory fills every inch of me. My being culminates in a symphony of praise. It isn't me alone no longer feeling abandoned. The presence of my companion, now tangible, places a hand in mine. I find comfort in the shackles securing my position. The crowd, allowed to listen to my request, head bowed. The sound of a pounding chest, audible in the silence. Suddenly aware of my prayer, there's a collective gasp as I ask for forgiveness from my Father on their behalf. Astonishing the masses as the room turns black, my head now hooded to hide them from their shame. Peace pumping through my veins as I maintain my claim to His name, anxiously awaiting for the executioner to shock me into the future.
Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state. Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state. And he will create a new path of faith. He will create a new path of faith. Flush with the mush that's fed in your head, mind's a slush hush, be attentive with an ordinary lifestyle. I've been anti-scented in the open air. I'm hoping other brothers grab the token while I reminisce in red and the broken bread sheds light and communion, us three in union. We ruin those humans, doing wrong, the lights are on, but nobody's home, no clue. And tumbleweeds roam in the desert of flesh, cesspools of lust. Such things rule over one's mind state. Trust in divine creates a new life, such a nature factor hid behind deception manufactured by the ignorance. Watch my verbal blow, shatter a fracture, but my words will show when the sentence that repentance will be needed for a bad case of lukewarm. I should warn you to receive him. If you keep on being spoon-fed, you'll soon be dead. Freshness occurs deep within him. Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state. Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state.
Quick flip the switch, scratch the wax, not the itch. Pitch a fastball called truth to strike a mic check. Mic's on, lights on, but nobody's home. Too bad the soul resides inside a foggy dome. Intellect flex but rejects my savior and lord. He's knocking at your door, so what you waiting for, neighbor? Spectacular something? What if I lit a pumpkin head to sit it at your door? Step and let it blow up into would you wise up, open your eyes up and rise up. Yeah, out on a limb, I'd like to grab you by the stem and pin you to the vine, showing you the time, and it's running out. The blinds are shut, so what's up with the Jehovah phobia? Squash word from the God I serve. Mr. Lantern, you got nerve. Think you don't know jack, but another smack in the face of the one who got his bitch torn from his skin and chin and face in your place. This is grace for you. I pray silently that you would be transformed and your mind would be renewed. You say you can't swallow Mr. Sleepy Hollow, and it's too hard to follow the word of God. Yo, it penetrates to obliterate the jack-o'-lantern mind state.
Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state. Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state. I saw staring spheres of fear appear with searing isosceles of near philosophies like Socrates. You dot your T's and cross your eyes with pain. Why do you strain at a net when I see a camel at play in a sea of alphabet soup? I have to get scoops of seeds to feed troops in need. I'll spell it out so the shells will shout instead of shock. The dead shock, the life shock, the shock for the future. Who'd have thought we get the opportunity to rock a pulpit, to see who get the clues we leave, not up our sleeves but in the shoes of our feet. Walk and in the talk of our speech. Peace to the seekers, check the sequel for the equal mind thumping when we bind pumpkins with the better metaphors, headed for the path of the thin wit, while dimwits laugh at misfits with words. He who laughs last shall then laugh first. Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state. Obliterate the jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern mind state, and he will create a new path of faith. He will create a new path of faith.
No voice, no voice without substance.
Create path of faith.
No voice without substance. Without substance.